Write the following log expression as a single log. Let me write this out a little neater than it's been printed. It's 3 log base 2 of x plus 14 log base 2 of y minus 13 log base 2 of z. So they want me to take this expression and write it as a single log, meaning one log. So in the end, they just want one log, just log. It's going to be base 2 because they're all base 2 of whatever, blah, blah, blah. Just one log, single log. How do I do it? Here's the log properties. This is from the exam number 3 notes. So the log properties, what do they say? Well, they basically say that multiplying for one log becomes adding. See how that's easier for 2 logs? Like a job is easier for 2 people. It's harder for one person. Harder operation for one log. What do I mean? I mean multiplying and dividing are harder. You learned them when you were a little older. Adding and subtracting are easier. That's the first. You learned those when you're like kindergarten, first grade, right? Whereas multiplying and dividing are harder. So see how the dividing for one person, harder operation for one person, becomes subtraction for 2 people, easier for 2 people. And it makes sense that multiplying and what did I? No, I just did the wrong thing. It makes sense that dividing and subtraction go together because they both make numbers smaller, and dividing is repeated subtraction. Right, 10 divided by 2 is 5 because 2 goes into 10 5 times, or you can subtract 2 out of 10 5 times. It's repeated subtraction. Whereas multiplying, right, 3 times 2 is 2 added 3 times. Multiplying is repeated adding, so it makes sense that multiplying and adding go together. And then the third property, powers can come down to the front or go back to the power. Either way, numbers in the front of a log are the same as the power of a log. So, okay, so with that in mind, I can grab this number from the front, put it in the power, put it in the power, put it in the power. So it'll become log base 2 of x to the third plus log base 2 of y to the 14th minus log base 2 of z to the 13th, right? That's what that third property is saying. Powers on a log can go back down to the front, or vice versa, from the front back to the power. They're equal. It's the same either way. Being in the front or being in the power, either place, equal, same thing. So that's why that's okay. Power, front to the power, front to the power, front to the power. And now I can combine them into one log because they're all, by the way, they're all log base 2, log base 2, log base 2, log base 2. That doesn't change. Notice on the properties, log base b, 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 log base b. That doesn't change. So log base 2 of what? X to the third times y to the fourth over z to the 13th. Why? Why is that the case? Well, because adding, let me connect it up for you. Adding becomes multiplying, and subtraction becomes divide, right? An easier operation like adding and subtracting, the easier operations become the harder for one log, multiplying, and harder dividing. So for one log, the job is hard. Like for one person, a job is harder than it is for 3 people. So adding, which is easier for 2 or 3 logs, just becomes harder. Multiplying for one log. Subtraction, easier for 2 logs, becomes dividing for one log, harder for one log. So there's our answer right there. There we go.